The little Princess Peach. My little Georgia Peach. I love this little dog. Anyways, we're gonna do our mask Monday because we've been bad. We've been bad. Yes, we have. We've been bad. I'm sorry. I've just been really not really sick, but just like tired. Like I'm sleeping all the time. So but we're gonna do our mask. I got stuff out. I think I'm prepared. We've got, what is this? Snail stuff. I can't tell who it's by, but well, you can kind of see it almost better on the camera. For our eye patches, and we have, this is an Amazon product that I received from Trouble with Tish. Face mask, sheet mask. It says hammy. I'm not sure what hammy is supposed to mean, like what, but it is a melon face mask. So that looks like cantaloupe to me. I'm not big on like melons and citrus, but I can eat some cantaloupe now. I can. Cantaloupe. Who's a pretty baby? Who's my pretty? Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead, get the mask started, and I'll be right back. Don't mind the mess, you know, it's just I'm fighting right now not to become a hoarder. Every now and then I just have to go like declutter the heck out of stuff because hoarding happens. And we're not talking about makeup here. We are not talking, and no such thing as hoarding makeup. Alright guys, hang out. I'll be right back, and we are going to get back into the Bible. Okay, here we are. We are back with the mask on. Let me tell you what, this mask, who is this by? Muyong? Muyong. It does not want to unfold. Like I got it unfolded and I went to put it down and the ad just kept folding over. I had a heck of a time, which is why I do it off camera, because the struggle is real, folks. The struggle is real. You know what? I'm going to move over just a wee bit. Ooh. Okay, so we finished Genesis, which was, I don't know, I thought Genesis was about the beginning of, you know, the human race, Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden. And Genesis, it turns out, that's not what it's about. I mean, it has that in there, but what it's actually about is the beginning of the 12 tribes. So, yeah. So now we are starting on the second book of Moses, called Exodus. Right there. And let's just do chapter 1. Oh, yeah, looks good. All right. Here we go. Now these are the names of the children of Israel. Israel was Jacob, which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob. Jacob and Israel are the same person. Reuben, Simon, Levi, and Judah. Bear with me. Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin. Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and Joseph, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, and Joseph. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already. That would be Jacob. Because Jacob was already in Egypt, if we recall. Joseph died, and all his brethren and all that generations, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed, W-A-X-E-D, okay, and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Okay, so, because you know the, what do you call him? The top guy, the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh, was like, loved Joseph because of his, you know, he helped him so much and he was so smart. But evidently, it doesn't say, we have just one sentence here. There arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Oh, little jealousy going on here. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it came to pass that when there fall out of that when there fell blah 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 blah. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. Okay. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Okay, so this guy, he's just like, don't like you. Don't like Israel. Don't like it. I don't trust you. I don't care what the last guy said. And maybe, you know, maybe there was some animosity between this Pharaoh and the last Pharaoh. So, you know, that's a possibility too. And therefore, I'll tell you what, this is driving me nuts. You know, therefore he doesn't trust the offspring of Israel because of that. You know, he's afraid that there will be some repercussions there. It doesn't tell us, but, you know, I'm thinking these are things that make sense, right? This really does feel good. So get them up out of the land. So they're saying like, no, y'all need to leave. Y'all need to go somewhere else. Go. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Raam, Python, no R, Pithom and Raamses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. No, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Like, seriously? I could see if somebody was coming in and trying to, like, you know, take over. But I'm still thinking that there's some animosity between last Pharaoh and this Pharaoh. Like, what happened to the last Pharaoh? Ooh, it's raining. That's good. We haven't had rain in a while. So... because why all of a sudden, as long as Joseph has been here and done well by Egypt, why all of a sudden is there this distrust? Something has happened, okay? And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with Rigor, Rigour, Rigar, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and brick and all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. So it sounds like this might be when, well, yeah, it's the book of Moses, right? This is when, you know, the Israelites became slaves in Egypt. The king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other was Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Wow, okay. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives, and said unto them, what have you done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, dude, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come into them. Okay, so I think what they're saying is, okay, Egyptian women gotta have help, okay? You know, y'all are a bunch of wimps. Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women. They're lively, they're hardy, and they don't need no help. They know what to do, okay? So there might not be a midwife when they deliver. So, like, how am I supposed to do what you're talking about if I ain't even there? They don't even call me, right? Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mightily. I don't understand what that means. Somebody Google that, will ya? Talk to me. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. So this is during the time of Joseph. Wow. So Joseph, at least at the beginning of this, Joseph is still, you know, around. And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And there went a man, okay. And the woman conceived and bore a son. And when she saw him, that he was a godly child, she hid him 3 months. Okay, so Moses, okay, Levi is Israel's son, Jacob's son, and his daughter had Moses. So we're talking about Moses' great grandfather was Israel, Jacob. and his great uncle would therefore be Joseph, right? No, Jacob. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, I'm should be stopping this, but I'm still going. Okay. And the woman conceived and bore a son, and when she saw that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. When she could not longer hide him, she took him an ark with bulrushes and daubed it with slime and with pitch, put the child therein, and laid it in the flags by the river's brink. Flags are like a reed that blooms. That I kind of know that one. And his sister stood afar off to witness what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river side. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she said to her maid to fetch it. When she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call thee a nurse of the Hebrew woman, that she may nurse the child for thee?" Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." And the maid went and called the child's mother. Okay, so Pharaoh still don't know about this. Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, "Take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages." And the woman took the child and nursed it, and the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son, and she called his name Moses, and she said, "Because I drew him out of the water." And it came to pass, in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked upon their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian. You know, I don't think that was a good thing, but I mean, it's not good to kill. You're not supposed to kill for any reason, and that's not just, oh, we don't kill Christians. That's everybody, okay? But you know, he wanted to defend these people that I'm not sure that he even knew that these were his people yet, but he wanted to defend them, and that is a honorable thing. He slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him, "What did the wrong? Wherefore smitest thou fellow?" And he said, "Who made thee a prince and judge over us, intending thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian?" And Moses feared and said, "Surely this thing is known." Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them, and watered their flock. And when they came to Reuel their father, Reuel, when they came to Reuel their father, he said, "How is it that you are come so soon today? How is it that ye are come so soon today?" And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us." Okay. How come you're home already? And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, And where is he? Why is it that you have left this man? Call him, that he may eat bread. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses I should know this. Zipporah, his daughter. Zipporah? And she bore him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of their bondage. It came to pass in the process that the king of Egypt, the Pharaoh died, and the king of Israel sighed by reason, and God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. Now, next is chapter 3. We're going to end that there. So, the timeline, I never really thought about. I mean, I know they're, they all came from Adam and Eve, but I didn't realize that the probability that Jacob, in the beginning of Moses' story, Joseph, might still be alive. And then it doesn't say anything about, it really doesn't say anything more about Joseph. So I'm thinking that whatever happened to Joseph had something to do with the whole bondage, the slavery thing, and and he is, at this point, he is no more. I'm sure that there's a story that tells us more about that, but, right now we're discovering Moses. So Moses has been born, raised by Pharaoh's daughter. So Pharaoh, I believe this is the same Pharaoh that, enslaved the people. Pretty much, was raised as a prince. It doesn't say that they don't know that he's Hebrew. It says that the sister knew, but was it the sister or the daughter? I don't know. Anyways, it was the sister. The sister knew that this was a Hebrew child, but the going consensus is that she hid this, where Pharaoh may have said, sister, seems to me her husband had died and left her childless, and so perhaps Pharaoh said, you know what, I'm going to think of this as like a child pet. Yeah, you go ahead and raise it, because I'm tired of your, mourning because you have no one. So here you go. Have the Hebrew child. Or he didn't realize that it was a Hebrew child and thought that the woman had conceived before her husband passed and, had the child. So, I don't know. What's your thought on that matter? Let me know. Comment below. Always interested in everyone else's perspective. This is a journey, and I want to know what's going on. So, guys, I'm actually going to leave this on a little bit longer. It feels really, really good. Sounds like my washer is done. So, out of the washer into the dryer. But next week, we're going to, read a little bit more about Moses. And, this is a story that I think we've all heard of. We have all heard versions of it. I have never heard, like, I've never read it out of the Bible. I've never had anyone read it to me out of the Bible. So, even though it's a familiar story, I feel like there are some things that, you know, may have been changed in the telling. So I'm really excited about the Bible Moses journey. And until the next time, I hope you wake up dancing, wake up dancing, boom, boom, boom. Wake up dancing every single day. And God bless you, and goodbye.